When I was asked if I could speak on the topic of kindness, my first thought was, of course, kindness is everywhere. My second thought was, how blessed and privileged am I that I live in a community, a town, a province, a country even, that is so rich in kindness. Let's take, for example, the most recent tragic events that happened right here in my province of Nova Scotia, where a deranged gunman killed 22 people and injured 3. Senseless, tragic loss of life. And as the news made it around the world, a shock wave of fear and panic and loss and sadness reached every corner of this province. And unable to console each other in ways that we would normally due to the pandemic, people had to find other ways to share kindness with one another. Social media feeds filled with messages of hope and prayer and love. People shared songs and sadness and cried together. Grand gestures were seen, with Niagara Falls and the CN Tower being illuminated in blue and white. And yet, when I sat down to write this talk and I thought about kindness, my thought actually went to my neighbor, Alan. You see, I'm not actually from Nova Scotia. I was born and raised in Southern Ontario. I was a sort of a shy, quirky kind of kid, always trying to figure out where I belonged. And as I grew up and I made my way to Eastern Ontario to raise my family, and I bought a house in the Ottawa Valley, I was told immediately that the Ottawa Valley is nice, but if you weren't born here, you'll never be from here. I spent 14 years there, and although I met a lot of great people along the way, I really truly didn't feel like I belonged. So in September of 2018, when my family did a crazy move and we picked up our entire life and our farm and we moved 3 provinces over to Nova Scotia, I remember pulling into the driveway of my brand new home in Bars Corner, Nova Scotia. And I'm driving a pickup truck that's got 3 goats and a pig in the back. It's towing my minivan that's got 7 cats and a tank of fish. And it's followed by a school bus driven by my husband with 17 dogs. And as we pulled in, all I could think of was, I hope my neighbors don't think we're crazy. But my neighbors opened up their hearts and their homes to us. They made us bread and cookies. They invited us over. But it was my neighbor, Alan, who really took me under his wing. He helped me find the things I needed to find. He helped me build fences and hay hoppers for the horses. And one day we were out in my van and I hit a deer. Technically, the deer hit me, but let's not get into a deer said, she said scenario here. The bottom line is it didn't end well for the deer, and I was really shooken up. And a passerby stopped by to see if we were okay, and we were. And then she asked if we were from here, and I immediately turned and I said, well, Alan is, but, and before I could finish, Alan interrupted me, and he said, you're from here? You're from Bars's Corner. And in that seemingly insignificant moment, I knew I was home. You see, kindness doesn't have to be grand gestures and lighting up Niagara Falls. Sometimes kindness can be as simple as telling somebody they belong. I don't even think Alan knows how much that moment meant to me. And I guess the kind thing to do would be to let him know.